Let's assume that the chocks are in place in order to verify the brakes and brake accumulator pressure. The accumulator brake pressure is checked before applying the brakes. The pressure indication should be in the green area. This indicates that the accumulator can hold the parking brake pressure for 12 hours. If the pressure indication is not in the green arc, use the blue hydraulic electrical pump to recharge the brake accumulator. Now we must check the efficiency of the alternate braking system. By applying maximum deflection on both pedals, the pressure must build up without delay on both sides, and the maximum pressure must be reached on the brake pressure indicator. As we will be checking the brake wear indicators during the walk-around, we must set the parking brake to on. Set the parking brake to on. On the engine warning display memo section, parking brake in green indicates that the parking brake handle is in the on position. Notice that the pressure to the main brakes is indicated for each main landing gear. This is blue hydraulic pressure. The parking brake uses the alternate braking system, which is powered by blue hydraulic pressure. Let's now continue with the walk-around. On the nose wheel, we check the following: the gear structure, wheel well for general condition, the hydraulic lines, the electrical wires, the chocks, wheels and the tires. Pin. On the lower center fuselage, we check that the left, the right and the center landing gear ground opening handle access doors are closed. On the main gear, we check the following: the gear structure and download springs, the wheel well for general condition, the chocks, wheels and tires, the hydraulic lines, the safety pin. The brake wear indicators indicate the state of the carbon discs. Note, as previously mentioned, the parking brake must be on for an accurate brake wear check. On the center gear, we check the following: the gear structure, the shock absorber, the wheels and tires, the hydraulic lines, the safety pin. We are back in the cockpit for the cockpit preparation. We verify that the 4 gear pins and covers are on board and stowed. We also check that the gravity gear extension selector is in the off position. We also check that the anti-skid and nose wheel steering switch is on. In order to check the brake pressure, set the parking brake handle to off, then to on. Set the parking brake to off. Observe that the brake pressure drops to 0. Set the parking brake to on. Observe that the brake pressure is back to the normal value. Note, if chocks are in place, release the parking brake handle to improve brake cooling. Before engine start, if no pushback is required, check parking brake handle on and check brake pressure. Caution: if during engine start with parking brake on, the aircraft starts to move due to a parking brake failure, immediately release the parking brake handle to restore the braking pedals. If a pushback is required, we have to release the parking brake. Caution: do not use brakes during pushback unless required due to an emergency. Set the parking brake to off. The parking brake is off. The brake pressure is back to 0. During pushback, the nose wheel steering selector, located on the nose wheel, is in the towing position. Nose wheel steering disc memo is displayed in green on the engine and warning display. With this indication, nose wheel steering is not possible from the cockpit.
It becomes amber if two engines are running. Caution: for pushback and towing, the nose wheel steering angle is limited to 60 degrees.
The pushback is completed. All the engines are running. We will now check the brakes in order to verify that green pressure has taken over and that blue pressure is at 0 on the brake pressure triple indicator. To initiate the test, we first press the top of the rudder pedals and we remove the parking brake. Remove the parking brake. On the brake pressure triple indicator, the brake pressure is at 0, indicating that the normal braking system is in use. Note, if brake pedals are quickly depressed, a brief brake pressure indication appears on the brake pressure triple indicator. During taxi, the ECAM wheel page is automatically displayed. Notice the two green triangles for each gear. They indicate that the gear is down and locked. There are two triangles because there are two computers which provide the information for these indications. These computers, called Landing Gear Control and Interface Unit, LGCIU 1 and 2, will be discussed in the abnormal module. The green horizontal lines indicate that the doors are closed in the normal position. Let's have a look at the information displayed below. Brake temperature is displayed in green to indicate that it is normal. Tire pressure is displayed in green to indicate that it is normal. During taxi, the auto brake is armed at max for takeoff. Set the auto brake to max. The following indications show that the auto brake is armed. On in the selected push button, a message in green on the ECAM wheel page, and on the auto brake line, max changes from blue to green on the takeoff configuration message. During taxi, either steering handwheel can be used to control the direction of the aircraft. The nose wheel steering angle is limited to 65 degrees of left or right deflection. Note, nose wheel steering is self-centered above 100 knots. While you are taxiing the aircraft for takeoff, you will check the flight controls. To check the rudder, you must press the rudder pedal disconnect switch. This button disconnects the nose wheel steering from the rudder so that you can check full deflection of the rudder pedals versus the indications on the ECAM. You will see and do this in the normal operation module of the flight controls. During takeoff, the aircraft direction is controlled exclusively using the rudder pedals. The rudder pedals provide up to 6 degrees of right and left deflection at low speed. As the speed increases, this deflection angle decreases progressively until 100 knots, when directional control is 0% nose wheel and 100% rudder. We have just completed the takeoff and we are airborne. It is now time to retract the landing gear. Retract the landing gear. Once the landing gear lever is in the up position, the auto braking is automatically disengaged. On disappears on the max push button and auto braking max disappears on the ECAM wheel page. Watch the ECAM and the landing gear lights. We will point out the changes as they occur. The landing gear doors deflect downward and their indications change to amber to indicate that they are open. At the same time, on the main gear, the braking system automatically brakes the wheels. As the doors close, you will hear in the cockpit the sound of the brake band braking the nose wheels. Then the landing gear retracts. There are two sets of indications which inform the pilot that the landing gear is no longer locked. Red unlock is illuminated in the position indicator lights, and the landing gear indicators become red on the ECAM wheel page. On the ECAM wheel page, the gear is retracted and the doors close. On the landing gear panel, the unlocked indications extinguish. The next time we will see indication about the landing gear is during the approach, when we lower the gear. It is now time to extend the landing gear. Watch the indications. Extend the landing gear. As soon as the handle is down and below 15,000 feet, the ECAM wheel page is automatically displayed. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear door indications change from green to amber as the doors open. On the landing gear panel, the unlocked indications turn red to indicate that the gear is unlocked. The landing gear unlocks and descends. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear indications are displayed in red. The landing gear extends. On the ECAM wheel page, the landing gear indications change from red to green and the door indications change from amber to green as the doors close. On the landing gear panel, the unlocked indications extinguish and the landing gear indications become green to indicate that the gear is down and locked. These green dashes appear in flight when the landing gear is extended. They remain displayed until touchdown. They will come on and off during braking according to the anti-skid release order. They indicate that the anti-skid is normal and available. Note, the white release indication means released and is a label only. Airbus recommends the use of the auto braking on short runways, contaminated runways, or when operating in low visibility. The use of auto braking reduces the number of brake applications to only one and thus reduces brake wear. For landing today, we will use the auto braking. Set the auto braking to low. The following indications indicate that the auto brake is armed. On in the selected push button, auto brake low in green on the engine warning display, and auto brake low in green on the ECAM wheel page. Note, on the engine warning display, the memo auto brake low only appears below 800 feet above ground level. We have just touched down. During landing rollout, extension of the ground spoilers triggers the auto brake. The deceleration light illuminates green when the aircraft deceleration is at least 80% of the selected rate. Auto brake action after spoiler deflection depends on the rate selected. Low, braking after approximately 1 second. Medium, immediate braking and higher deceleration than in low, maximum, immediate braking with maximum deceleration rate. This mode is only used for takeoff. On the ECAM wheel page, watch the green dashes. They appear during braking, indicating that the anti-skid is active. The auto brake can be deselected by either using the corresponding push button on the auto brake panel or by applying sufficient force to one brake pedal in low and medium and to both brake pedals in maximum. Note, auto brake is automatically disarmed in the case of ground spoiler retraction.
On the ECAM wheel page, check the brake temperature for significant differences and high temperatures. A maintenance action is required when the difference between two brakes of the same gear is greater than 150 degrees and the temperature of one brake is above 600 degrees or below 60 degrees.
Above 100 degrees Celsius, a green arc is displayed over the hottest brake temperature. In this case, the brake fans must be selected on. Switch the brake fan on. The on light comes on white, indicating that the brake fan is running. We have set the parking brake for you. Before releasing the pedals, check the brake pressure indications. Note, as soon as the parking brake is on, braking using the pedal is no longer available.